So let's sit and grow. It's gonna be a good show.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Low, man. I'm excited to be back with another podcast. That's right, man. Listen, I apologize, man, because I've been having to do a lot of productions where I have not had the opportunity to record these last couple of Mondays, but I have guests lined up coming back. But until then, I wanted to take a little minute and just talk to you. Can I talk to you? Can we talk as family? Can we talk as people who understand that things are a process and that it doesn't always mean that we are necessarily doing the things that we foresee in our mind concerning our journey? But before I get into that, I want to take a second and introduce myself. If you don't know, my name is Aloysius Ballard, and I am a digital coordinator. I am a creative director. I am a videographer, producer, and man, I am a lover of people. I love to see people get to where they belong and where they want to be in life. And because of that, I often find myself in positions where I'm helping build bridges for people to get to that purpose and connection. Now, if this is your first podcast, by all means, welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the world according to Low. And these are some of the things that you can find in my world. I love production, but I also love people. But more than that, I am very, very, and has always been in love with storytelling. And I love sharing people's journeys and stories because as humans, this is our most connective bond that we have from the time we enter this world until we leave. So what I want to do today is get into this podcast and talk about a few things. And I will be telling you a little bit more about what the purpose of the world according to Low is all about. Can I do that? I thought so. It's my show. So why not? So one of the things I just attended was a conference put on by the American Advertising Federation, and better known as AAF. And I have recently joined AAF, and we had our regional conference, and we had some dynamic speakers, one being the amazing Brittany Bright, who is a influencer. I don't want to just say she's not just an influencer. She is a curator of brand deals. She understands social very, very well, has well over six figure follows, and is very intricate in also helping develop upcoming influencers so that they can build to maximize their brand. Now, I had the pleasure of hearing Brittany and a slew of other amazing speakers who are workers or involved in the advertising or marketing industry, from tech to being CEOs, just a whole slew of things that I will be recapping with you guys and bringing some of them to the podcast, because once again, I want you to understand that the world according to Low is literally me embracing and sharing the people that I find to be very, very impactful on my life and my journey. And if I learn or if I am very enthused by them, I like to share them with my audience and my family. So the AAF conference was amazing. I had to do a little production. I also got to celebrate my good friend, Jeff Johnson. No, I'm sorry. Jeff, what is Jeff's last name? Oh my gosh. This is how tired I am. My boy Jeff, and I'm sorry, Jeff, for jacking up your name. But Jeff became governor of the Jeff Harrison. Yeah. Boy, I'm recording this podcast pretty late, but this is how much I love you guys. I wanted to make sure that I didn't go another week without posting something for you, because I am holding myself accountable to these podcasts. Anywho, so Jeff Harrison became governor of the regional District 7, which is in the AAF. And because of that, he was installed as that, and it was a beautiful event. We were at a aquarium, and it was nice. We got to peruse the place and network and all of these things. But one thing that I learned from the conference that reassured me was that we have to make sure, and I'm talking about myself primarily, but I want you to think about this in lieu of your brand, your audience, your influence that you have, is that we have to make sure that we are not trying to build customers over community. And I want to talk about that for a second. There's a difference between creating customers over community. Now, what I mean by that is, if you just want to sell something to someone, then you need to approach it as such. You're a business offering a service, and you want customers. Customers exchange a fee for a service. There's nothing binding each other. They're free to go as they want and whatnot, and there's no real connection and interaction. It's just all transactional. And I say that because I learned this past weekend that a lot of times our actions don't align with us developing communities. Our actions more align with someone selling a service. And this is what hinders us a lot of times in our growth process. So a lot of times people only feel like you want something from them, that you don't necessarily care about them, but you just want what you want, and you want to be transactional for it. So a lot of times we get into things and we're saying, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, or follow button, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, why would I be incentivized to do that when you don't know anything about me? And a lot of times we don't. You'll find yourself not replying to people who comment. You'll find yourself not even taking a second to engage those people who like your content. You just keep it one-sided. You want them to do something that you want to do, that you benefit for, and you want it to be transactional. Now, the other side of that is building community. Now, here's the thing about building community. Building community means that you value the people that you are engaging, right? So I care about you guys. And oftentimes you will see in my content, I want to know what you're doing. I want to see your work. And shout out to Ravano Burton for sharing his latest video. And if you don't know, he is a musical artist. And I got to see him. He also follows the brand and the platform, me on my platforms. And he shared with me his YouTube latest music video. And I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was great. I thought he had a lot to say. It was based off of a love song. And I shared it and different things because I like to see people who are living out their dreams and their purposes. And because of that, this brings a better bond between the two of us. It's not just something that serves me, it's something that serves each other. And a lot of times what community gives is that security that you are something that matters. You are someone of value to the person you're connected with. And I say that to say this is that I could be doing these pods and nobody could be listening. But the fact that you are listening lets me know that we have something in common. We have something that we are seeking to do. And I want to value that. I want you to know that what you do matters. And the same way that I'm trying to grow, I want to see you grow and win as well. So, I learned this when I was at AAF, that we want to be more intentional about developing our community growth, because community, regardless of what you end up doing, will support and stick with you. Things that are transactional, think about your favorite restaurant, right? So if you love the cheeseburger there, or you love the seafood pasta there, and you go and you peruse this place often, you go there, that's your spot, all of the vibes, you like the music on Friday nights, or you like the events they have. But the best thing about it is you can still get your favorite dish right there in the midst of something else that you enjoy, right? Now, imagine going there and they changed the menu completely. The thing that had you there is no longer relevant. So what do? You find yourself seeking a new place to connect. And this is what we often do with our followers in our community, our audience. We only ask them to do things that are transactional versus it being something that is community based, that is our presence being valued, right? So let's take the same scenario. Let's say you and I are friends and I start a restaurant, but I include you in the development of my restaurant. So I have you tasting the foods. I have you tasting things. I have you giving me input and feedback. And now, even though I may choose to change the menu or the decor or whatever, you feel like you're invested because you have been a part of that process. Same situation, but just different ways that we feel vested in those things. Now, a lot of times in the first scenario, you would say, man, why would they change that? I would support them. I always bought seafood pasta, or I would always come here and buy the cheeseburger. Why would they change it when we were paying for it? It's a good question. It's something that most people will ask. It's natural to want to know these things, right? But that's not the mindset you have when you feel like you are invested personally into something. When you go there and you are familiar with the waitress who sits you every week, or you know the bartender who pours your favorite drink or has a conversation with you outside of just serving you. And these things are things that we need to keep in mind as we develop and grow our platforms. Which leads me to, I mentioned it earlier about the purpose of this podcast. I want you to know that even though the name of this podcast is The World According to Lo, that's a short symbol of what your world means to you as well. I want you to see yourself in the same way that I see mine. I want you to find ways to share your experiences. Some of you may want to be bloggers. Some of you may want to be podcasters. Some of you may want to go live and just be interactive with your audience. Some of you may want to be interpretive and do it in artistic ways. You can be a painter or sculptor, or whatever the case is, fashion, whatever your outlet is. You can interpret your life and the things that you come across to be something that can feed others. We have to develop a mindset of where that our dreams are big enough to help someone else live theirs. If it's only servicing you, if your actions only serve you, then I guarantee you that you're thinking too small and you're thinking too selfishly. And that's not how you're going to grow. Okay. So I want to grow with you. And I'm sharing these notes and these thoughts that I have learned as I'm developing, right? Because we all know that even in the midst of us growing, it feels better. It feels more authentic when we can grow with others, right? So that's why a lot of us who have childhood friends, value those friends above all others because they've been with you in so many stages of your life. Now, if you don't know, I also have a community that I'm developing called the Loyalty Crew. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you can see my shirt where it says Loyalty Crew. And that is my Patreon community. I say loyalty because, number one, I love to be loyal to my dreams. I love to be loyal to my goals and my ambitions in life and to the people that support me, right? But it also plays into my name. If you don't know the world according to Lo, my name is Aloysius, but everybody calls me Lo lovingly, right? So in that, I have a patreon.com. You can go to my website, aloysiusballard.com, and that is ALOYSIUSBALLARD.com, and you can see the Patreon tab. Click that tab and it will take you directly to Patreon. Listen, my Patreon community only starts at $5 a month. And what I'm gearing up to do is to bring more master classes, to bring more special people to the platform where we can have engaging content and interactions. But I need to develop this community for us to be able to do that. There'll be a lot of things that I want to do. I have a lot of you that want to know more about videography and photography skills and how to use your camera that you probably already bought but sits in the bag because you don't like the way any of the pictures come out, or you don't know how to use that video aspect of it, or even just what we're doing now. Lo, what equipment do I need to start a podcast? What can I do just to begin? How can I get my audio clean? How can I get my videos to look good? What ring light should I be using? All of these things, type based questions, are things I want to answer and help walk you through. But I need your help. Shout out to the community that's already here, that is supporting and showing love. I love each and every one of you guys. I really appreciate your support, and every last dime of that Patreon goes right back into me creating content and stuff for you guys. So if you ever thought about it, take a second and go support, sign up. It literally is less than a value meal or something fast food that you would pick up and probably not even want anyway, because if you don't know, fast food is really nasty for the most part. It's almost a hit or miss if it's going to be good. They don't even make sure the fries are hot anymore like that, but unless you're at Chick-fil-A. But even then, you know, you're spending well over $5. So just take one meal a day, a month, and donate it to your boy, right? So we can grow and continue to grow. Now, before I get out of here, man, I want to also encourage you to take some time to map out your dreams and your strategies. One thing I also learned at the AAF conference was that a lot of times creatives, we don't focus in on the plan that we have. We just want to get out and do something. And when we do it once, we think just because it didn't go viral or people aren't fooling with it, that we aren't being successful. No, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of consistency. And as you know, we recently hit the 50 episode mark, which was a big deal for me to be consistent and developing these things and these podcasts and this content. But more importantly, it was just a marker to me to say, hey, you are doing the work. Even with all the business of what I do on a day-to-day basis, still carving out time, scheduling it, getting with guests, talking to people, setting up, training interns, training people who want to learn, and developing that stuff is still a big deal. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. But as I close this podcast, I want you to know that you have to sit down, take some time, look at your calendar, schedule it, put it into existence by booking it on your date. Make some time, say, hey, this 45 minutes, this 30 minutes is dedicated to me creating my dream and my content, right? And if you need any help, if you got questions, you can always contact me. If you are listening on the podcast, I'll make sure I put my contact information in the show notes. You can always contact me through my website, but also on social media, and let's just chat it up. Let's see how we can get you going, man. Let me help you develop as you want. You can get your content looking good, sounding good, and man, have fun doing it. I love talking to you guys. I love having these conversations. And most importantly, man, I just want you to know that you really matter to me, okay? And I want you to be in my community. So as we get out of here, I want to say thank you once again for tuning into this episode of The World According to Lo. I cannot do this without you guys. And I want you to know every time you listen, it really makes a difference to me, okay? It gives me uplift, it gives me encouragement, and it lets me know that I'm touching somebody's life. So until next time, man, I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, okay? Peace.